The world was just shaken by the most personal, heartrending, and perhaps the boldest statement ever made by a BTS member. Jungkook, the main vocalist and the emotional face of the biggest idol group of the century, has finally revealed something that has long been a whisper among fans, a love that he had been hiding for far too long, too deep. "I've kept it too long," he said. A simple sentence, yet its impact is so vast, surpassing national borders, cultures, and even languages. This statement is not part of an album promotion, not a scripted variety show clip, and not a marketing strategy. It was a pure emotional explosion, delivered live, without a script, without background music, and without filters. Jungkook appeared alone, wearing a black hoodie, in a dimly lit empty room. There were no stage decorations, no lavish background, only silence and the voice of his heart that could no longer be suppressed. Why is this confession so important? Because for BTS fans, or ARMY, Jungkook has long been a symbol of quiet strength. He rarely opens up about his personal side, especially when it comes to love. For more than a decade since debut, Jungkook has been known to keep a clear boundary between his idol persona and his personal life. He shared songs, laughter, and sweat, but never his most vulnerable feelings. Yet, that night, that barrier came crashing down. "I love someone, and I've kept it for too long. Too afraid, too worried," he said in a soft voice. His face lowered, and the tears that he could no longer hold back began to fall. Fans watching the live broadcast were left in silence. Spontaneous reactions flooded the comment section. Confusion, emotion, and support all came at once. Many admitted to crying with him, feeling each word as if it represented a burden that had been invisible all this time. What makes this confession even deeper is the absence of a name. Jungkook did not mention who he loved. He did not provide details nor offer a complete story. But he offered honesty, and sometimes, honesty is more stirring than any full narrative. "I know I can't say their name. I don't want to burden them with the attention that will come. But I hope they know, if they see this, yes, this is for them." Speculation quickly followed. Names that had once been associated with Jungkook resurfaced. Some fans pointed to female celebrities, while others believed the love in question came from within BTS itself. One of the most frequently mentioned names was Taeyong, a bandmate who had shared a deep emotional dynamic with him for years. But more than who, the public asked, why now? Why choose this time, during a break from BTS's full schedule, to open up about something that had long been a mystery? Perhaps for the first time, Jungkook felt safe enough to be human. Without the burden of expectations, without the pressure of being the perfect idol. "I'm tired of pretending not to care. Every night, I think about them. And every morning, I pretend I'm fine," he continued. The reactions from BTS members were equally moving. Shortly after the broadcast ended, Jimin wrote a brief message on the fan community platform, "You're not alone." RM, the leader, wrote a longer message, "Honesty is the highest form of bravery. We are with you, Jungkook." Even Suga, who is known for being quiet and not easily showing emotions, posted an emoji of a hug and a heart, as if saying everything without words. Global responses also reflected just how deeply this confession had touched many people. Many said, "If Jungkook can be honest about his love, then I can too." The 20-minute broadcast is now being called one of the most historic moments in BTS's career. But not because of controversy or sensation. Rather, because of courage. Because behind the camera spotlight, the glamour of the stage, and the pressures of fame, the world finally saw Jungkook not as an idol, but as a human being. A man who wants to love and be loved without fear. What will happen next? No one knows for sure. Will Jungkook reveal the identity of the person he loves? Will he choose a private relationship over a public career? Is this the beginning of a major shift in how K-pop idols view privacy and love? These questions may not be answered anytime soon. But one thing is clear, Jungkook has opened a door. And there's no turning back to the end of the broadcast. With his eyes still wet, Jungkook whispered, "Love is not a shame. But keeping it alone for too long can destroy you." That sentence resonates deeply, not just for ARMY, but for anyone who has ever loved in silence. Perhaps we'll never know who Jungkook was referring to. But that night, love was no longer a secret. It became real and finally free. I asked the world ready to accept love that doesn't follow the entertainment industry's script? Or is this the moment for the industry to change its perspective? Only time will tell. But for now, all we can say is, thank you, Jungkook. Thank you for being brave. After that world-shaking moment, many questions arise in our minds. Are we truly witnessing an event full of courage and sincerity? Or is this just part of a larger strategy to attract media attention? Jungkook, the main vocalist of BTS, has opened the door to speak about something he has kept hidden for so long, something deeply personal, love. But is this confession entirely real, or is there an element of dramatization behind it? This is a question worth considering, especially in the midst of the often confusing stream of information. I end this digital age, where social media can easily turn a statement into a global phenomenon. We must be careful in assessing what we see and hear. The information we receive comes from various channels: TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and of course, various news sites trying to provide us with the latest updates. However, with so many sources involved, how much of that information is truly trustworthy? Do we really know who is behind the scenes and their motives in spreading this information? Is Jungkook sharing a pure love story, or is he playing a larger role in a narrative intentionally created to capture attention? This brings us to the importance of adopting a skeptical attitude toward every piece of information we receive. As we know, in the entertainment world, dramatic events are often exaggerated or even created to add sensation. The media is very adept at crafting narratives that make us feel emotionally connected. But do we really have to believe everything without question? Digging deeper, courage or sensationalism? We must ask ourselves, is this moment truly a sincere confession, or is it a fabrication designed to create more buzz in the virtual world? Considering that Jungkook is a public figure who has always been cautious with his words and has kept a boundary between his personal and professional life, could this moment simply be a coincidence that emerged at the right time? During a break from BTS's busy schedule, is this the ideal moment for Jungkook to share his personal side? Or could this be part of a larger strategy to shift attention away from other issues that might be developing within the industry? One thing we must realize is that the entertainment world is often full of falsehoods. Fans are sometimes presented with stories that stir emotions, but do we really know if those stories reflect the truth? Or are they simply illusions built to strengthen an image and increase popularity? In this case, we need to question further. Is everything we receive truly real, hoax, or fact? How to filter news. Asking whether a piece of information is a hoax or a fact is very important. In this day and age, where information can spread so quickly and widely, we need to have the tools and abilities to filter it. In this case, the moment involving Jungkook and his confession about love, can it be considered a fact, or is it merely a fabrication intentionally published to grab media attention? It's not uncommon to encounter news that seems too good to be true, and we must be wise in receiving any information. Perhaps we need to be more critical in observing the reactions that arise. On one hand, many people feel moved and believe they have witnessed a very personal moment from an idol. However, on the other hand, we must also ask, is that feeling of being moved just an emotional response to a carefully constructed story by certain parties? Is there a possibility that we are being presented with a narrative that was prepared in advance? Remember, in the entertainment world, everything can become a commodity, even emotions, critical thinking, How do we respond to information? In dealing with information that comes from various sources, we must train ourselves to think more critically.